Artificial intelligence and machine learning are not the topics just for experts anymore. Because in today's class, we are going to create a machine learning model that recognizes the objects without using any coding. I will clearly explain you on how to do this. Before doing that, let us first understand what machine learning actually is and also some steps on how to create a machine learning model. Come, let us together learn about it. We will know how to train our machine learning model without using any coding. First, what is machine learning? Machine learning is nothing but the ability that we give to machines to learn from the data. That means they will recognize some patterns in all the samples that we give them, and they will do some calculations accordingly to predict the output. Imagine there's a child and he doesn't know how a dog looks like, and you have to train him in such a way that he will be able to recognize that that is a dog whenever he sees a dog. So what you will do, we'll just show him multiple images of how dog looks like, so that he will understand, okay, if the shape is like this for an animal, then it is a dog. If it has 4 legs, and if the fur is like that, if the face is like this is the dog. And that is how he will learn from the examples that you show him about the dog. Correct? In the same way, machines also learn to recognize the objects by using these examples. Correct? Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Now let us understand what machine learning model is. It is like a brain that's been trained by giving some data. Just like the brain of the kid that we have trained based on some image samples of dog, it is also something that's been trained based on the data in computer. And that is what a machine learning model is. It is as similar as memory and understanding in child, which is equal to machine learning model in computer, and that's what the analogy we use here. Now let us understand what are the basic steps involved to create a machine learning model. Step 1, collecting samples. That means you have to take the examples of something you want to train the model with. Second one, labeling samples. You have to name each and every sample that you give it, so that it will try to recognize the patterns in that sample range. Third, training a model. So after collecting the samples and labeling them, you have to train the model using some algorithms which are assessed by artificial intelligence, and using this it will be able to recognize the common patterns in the image samples of a group. That means a label. And then testing model. That means you have to test the model that you have just created. For example, you gave it 90% of the data at the time of training, and you have to give the rest 10% of the data to test the model whether it is working correctly or not. And if it's not working correctly, that means you have to increase the number of samples that you give it to increase the accuracy. And then export the model and deploy it in your project. Now let's try to practically understand all of this using Teachable Machine, which is a tool offered by Google to learn about machine learning. To do that, first open your browser and search for Teachable Machine. And there you go with the first link. And if you have not registered to this website, you just need to click on Get Started and sign in. Since I have signed in, I'm just moving on. So here we have 3 projects: image, audio, and post project. Now we are going with image project and standard model. And now what happens is we have to give some samples to the data. Like I'm using my webcam to do this. Now I'll record the samples of my face first. We'll go on like that. Like you just need to hold on to this and give the samples of your face and wait. And this is collecting samples, and now we have to label the data, right? So I'll label it as face, right? And now I'll collect the samples of another data, which is this. And now I'll hold on record, and I'll record as samples. Yes. Once I'm done with that, I'll label the data. Let's label it spider. And I'm going to add another sample, using the webcam. I have another one with me, which is this. And now let me click on this and record the samples. And once we are done with that, we are done with collecting the samples and also labeling the data. First step is to train the model. Just click on train the model, and internally what happens is it will take some time to analyze the common patterns in every class, and it will recognize the patterns accordingly. And this is assessed by artificial intelligence, and that is the reason we call machine learning as a subset of artificial intelligence used to recognize the patterns in common with all the samples that we give it. And now let's wait for a moment. The time it takes mainly depends on the number of samples you give. The more the number of samples you give it, the more the time it takes, and also more accuracy it will be. Now we are done with training the model, and now let's test the model. Now it's detecting my face as I trained in the first class. And now let me show you this. And as soon as I bring this into the picture, it is showing me the spider. Correct. And after this, if I take it into picture, and it will show me ninja as we have trained it accordingly. Correct. Like this. If you want to add more accuracy to this, you can increase the number of samples. And after done with this, we need to export the model and use it in our projects. For that, after exporting the model, you can download the model and include it in your project. Just go to download and download my model. So once the model is being downloaded, you just open it, and you will find 3 files in this. First one, metadata.json, that is a JSON file, JavaScript object notation file that consists of each and every information about this model. For example, the names of the classes and all of that will be present in that metadata.json only. Coming to model.json, it is the configuration file of our model. That means it has all the addresses or the links to the other files, and it also has some instructions like what is the file format and all of that. And coming to weights.bin, this is the file in which our trained model will be there, and this is a binary file, and that's the reason it's in bin format. And I think this is useful information for you, and if you have any doubts, comment down below, I'll answer them. And if you want to suggest me some new topics to be discussed about, comment down below. Have a nice day, and we'll see you with other topic again. Thank you.